guys, Kurt from Time Machine Transport, just over here in Portland, Oregon. I delivered over in Seattle on Friday and got screwed by a broker on a load, so I had to find another load. Picking up in Banks, Oregon. I'm currently empty right now, but anyways, because I'm a prepper, my wife and I, and I tell everybody this all the time, be prepared or whatever. But I'm listening to this interview on the Canadian Preppers channel. Not fond of him personally, but he's got good content. And he's got this guy who's a former Marine pilot. Excuse me, he's a survival expert. He's old, but he's talking about how things are getting really bad. But he made a really good point, so I went back and I rewound it and paused it for you guys. If you don't think that something is around the corner, I think you're foolish, personally. My brothers and my wife's family, not my family are a bunch of yahoos who don't think anything's coming. But anyways, people think that they call our shop the Ark because it's, we got a lot of preps or whatever. Our food and ammo and guns are at another storage unit, which we'd have to bring to the shop. But I was talking to my brother AB today. How you doing, brother? And I did a video, probably over a year ago. Will China invade the U.S.? And if you guys haven't seen it, go on my channel. It's the video posted at the very top, right underneath the trucks with the tow unit. And I basically say, I give, and I'm not a military strategist or whatever, but my thought is the way that they could invade the U.S. But also, if you guys aren't aware, because all the forest fires on the West Coast, what's a cool dog? I think that a lot of police officers and people that talked about the forest fires on the West Coast, how they were started by arson. And now if you look at Alaska's like burning. Like, there's already a couple million acres that have been burned, and they got forest fires everywhere. Well, what did Russia just say about Alaska? That because the U.S. had bought Alaska from Russia for, I think it was like 50 cents per acre, which was a great deal for us. But Russia is talking about how they're going to take Alaska back from the United States. So my theory on the forest fires on the West Coast, it's easier for invasion because less forest means you don't have to travel down common roads where they would have, obviously, booby-trapped or blown-up bridges or whatever the case is. So if you eliminate the forests, you can invade anywhere on the West Coast with less forests to drive your tanks through. So you don't have to stay to the most common concrete roads traveled, right? So you burn down the forests, and you're making your invasion a lot easier for travel. So like I said again, you don't have to stay to the common roads or bridges or whatever the case is. And here's a good point is when Russia invaded Ukraine. The Ukraine army, the Ukrainians, they blew up a lot of the bridges, so it was a lot more difficult for the advancement. Well, this guy, because everybody thinks, Trump's the savior and this and that, and but this guy makes a really, really good point, so I figured I'd do a video on it, and let's go ahead and put it on there. Got some nice trucks in this truck stop. More thing, if you guys are in Portland, Oregon, which I am right now, there's a truck stop called Jublitz, I think, and if you have a EFS fuel card, the fuel was like $6.09 a gallon, And if you have an EFS fuel card, I got fuel for $5.35 a gallon. So anyways, I'm going to go to this video and you guys can listen to what he says.
Experience with Trump in the United States. Now, Trump had good intentions. He really wants to make a better country, but he is clueless about how to determine who's deep state and who isn't. That's why he just couldn't drain the swamp. But I'll tell you, as a survival expert, I can tell you, if you give people any hope at all that it's not going to come, they will not prepare. If you give them hope that there's a Donald Trump that will save them, they will not prepare, because it's hard, it's costly, it's time consuming. They're always looking for an excuse. They're looking for hope that it won't happen. Let me tell you, don't have any hope that this war is going to happen. If you prepare, you're going to survive it. That's your hope. But do not hope this isn't going to happen, because Russia and China are not preparing. And our own deep state in your country and mine are preparing to get us into a tyrannical world government. It's going to happen. These people already control both our governments. So don't hope, don't be optimistic, be pessimistic and prepare. My brother always said it pays to be a pessimist, because if you're wrong, everything's fine. But if you're right, you're prepared.
Everything's still fine, yeah. All right, well, there you have it, folks. Joel Skousen, thanks for coming on, and we'll post some links in the description to Amazon.
So that makes a lot of sense.
Any other place you'd like to direct?
Don't
be prepared, because and I know I'm the crazy guy. People, oh, you know, Kurt, he's the crazy guy. Well, just like I told my brother-in-law and my sister, a lot of my friends, our pastor, my wife's family, friends, my family and friends, I said Trump will not be reelected. Oh, you're crazy, you're nuts, man, you're nuts. It doesn't fit their agenda. I said Joe Biden is going to be the fall guy. And what's happening now? And it's not like, oh, Kurt, you're so right, pat on the back. No, I'm just saying, I think about things logically, and that's the way you should be thinking, logically. So if you're not prepared, you know, you can't buy home insurance when your house is on fire, right? It's too late. So just have some extra food, water, a way to protect yourself, minus, you know, besides a baseball bat and a machete, have yourself a firearm and lots of ammo. But it's, with everything happening right now, excuse me, it's just not a coincidence that all this stuff is happening, you know, right away, all together. Like all this mayhem and all this, you know, inflation and fuel this and oil this and food shortages this and food processing plants burning down and everything else. It's not a coincidence. And yet I tell people, and they just don't prepare. They just don't prepare. You know, you prepare every day, you just don't realize that you prepare. You make sure your phone is charged, because you don't want your battery to run out, right? You make sure your vehicle has fuel in it, so you don't run out of that. You make sure that you set your alarm, so you're not late for work. You know what I'm saying? You make sure, you could use so many different examples. So you prepare every single day, you just don't realize you prepare. And to my friends and family out there, my brothers and my sisters and other people that have subscribed to the channel, thank you first off. But second off, do yourself a huge favor, man. You know, if you have an extra $400 or $500, and I mean, we're already, you guys have seen my videos. I'm not a shit talker, but take that extra money and buy some preps. Also, you know, my wife and I, we have taken out a lot of cash out of the bank because they're talking about how, you know, the banks are in a lot of trouble right now. And look it up. There's a thing called the bail-in. It's fact. If everybody makes a run on the bank, or if the banks don't have the cash, they'll just lock the front door. Just turn off your ability to get money out of the ATM. And this guy on this interview had talked about an EMP, how it's going to happen. If you don't know what an EMP is, it's electromagnetic pulse, where they could fire off a nuclear weapon in our atmosphere and wipe out our power grid. And again, I'm the crazy guy, right? I'm crazy, but it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen soon. It's gonna happen in our lifetime. So, guys, please, with lots of sugar on top, have a way to survive. And here's the thing: you don't have to survive for, a year or 2 years or 5 years. You just have to outlast the other 97 or 96% of the population that's not prepared. They say that 3 or 4% of the population is actually prepared for some sort of doomsday event, right? Whether it be a tornado or a hurricane or an earthquake or whatever the case is, they say that only 3 to 4% of the population is prepared. So when this does happen, and it's not an if, but when it happens, you just have to outlast the other 96 or 97%. So I think you really only have to, well, not only, but 30 to 60 days probably, maybe a little longer, maybe a little less. Obviously, you're going to want to get out of the big cities. But also, it's very difficult for people that don't have the means of preparing. But don't be one of those, dumpskis that's oh, this will never happen. It's America. Kurt, you're talking out of the side of your mouth or out of your side of your neck or whatever the case is. Well, if you ask yourself before this whole, fake pandemic thing, everybody in America is going to have to wear a mask or get that thing in their arm or this, and that. Well, look at us now. Oh, they're not going to take our weapons. Well, look what's happening now. So things are coming. You just have to admit that they're coming, and you have to be prepared. Please, guys, it's coming. And, it's a warning. And the signs are all around us. You just have to, you got to think smart about it and just be prepared, guys, all right? And I hope this video finds you well. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Ciao.